I'm your host, Tiffany Souter, and this is Scared Confident. The last piece of advice comes from another, I would say, formative book that I read called The Hard Things About Hard Things, written by Ben Horowitz. Andreessen Horowitz is a big venture capital firm in California. And so essentially it's like the unsexy, unvarnished, really hard, crappy underbelly of what it looks like to be an entrepreneur. And the subtitle of it says Building a Business When There Are No Easy Answers. And I'll read this. It says that this is like an author's note. It says, the hard thing isn't dreaming big. The hard thing is waking up in the middle of the night with a cold sweat when the dream turns into a nightmare. And all of us who have been on an entrepreneurial journey for any period of time knows that at some point in the journey, there is literally that cold sweat where everything that you've worked for, you can't taste food, your hands are clammy, your stomach's going crazy, time is weird. It's super, super strange. Your body physically responds to it. And I read this book in a period of time where things were really hard. It brought a lot of comfort, actually, that the fact that it's hard doesn't mean that I'm doing it wrong. It is part of the journey. And so the comment that I love from this book, it has lots of good stuff in it, but the one thing I really remember and think about is eat the shit sandwich, don't nibble on it. And what I love about this is that when we have something really, I want to say treacherous to do, there's a lot of risk, it's going to suck, somebody's probably going to end up bloody and mad, that getting all the way through, I've also heard it said the 36 hours of pain. Don't do it a little bit over a long period of time. Sometimes it can feel like it's easier to make a bunch of small, hard decisions, but just eat the shit sandwich. And sometimes this looks like layoffs you have to make, or clients you need to fire, or partner you need to buy out, or a really difficult conversation that you need to have. Sometimes you can want to kind of skirt around it a little bit, but just eat the shit sandwich. You're going to be glad 1,000% of the time, I promise you, that you just got through it, because then it's over. Otherwise, it just becomes this prolonged thing, goes on forever, and everybody and everything around you gets dragged through the mud for so long that usually the culture, the relationship, everything is hurt more because you just didn't deal with the truth head on. For somebody like me, I'm a high I, which means I seek approval and I can naturally want to make things happy. And doing hard things that are going to suck and make somebody mad. It's hard for everybody. I think in particular, it can be difficult for people with my personality. And so to be gentle, you can do 3 steps of kind of shitty, thinking that's being kind and giving people grace, when usually it just prolongs it for everybody and it ends up being way worse. So just eat the shit sandwich. Don't nibble on it. When I have really hard things to do, or even if I'm going on a long run and it's the last mile, I just don't want to do it. I'm just eat the shit sandwich, Tiffany. Just do it. You're not going to die. And so for me, this just kind of makes me jump into the deep end, into the cold bath, whatever it is, just get it done. And it's usually less painful for everyone when you just deal with it and get it over with. So a lot of great wisdoms in this book. Highly recommend. Again, it's not new, but it has a lot of just timeless lessons in what it really looks like in the underbelly of being a business owner. This is not the front page of Fast Company version, but it definitely brought me a lot of comfort in realizing hard things, hard decisions are an imperative part of leadership. And the best leaders know how to make those tough calls decisively and in a way that is very specific and understood to everybody who's around. So what else is on your mind? Text me, 317-350-8921, 317-350-8921, and be sure to follow along on your favorite podcast app. Thanks for listening today.